Welcome to Simple Solutions, the podcast where big challenges meet practical answers. I've spoken on big stages. I've taught in classrooms. I've learned from some of the world's greatest speakers. And through it all, one principle remains true. Success leaves clues. On this show, we uncover those clues. We break down complex problems into clear, actionable strategies you can apply right now. So, if you are ready to grow, ready to lead, and ready to win, well, you are in the right place. This is Simple Solutions. Welcome to another episode of Simply Successful. Today, we have a special guest. Normally, I would talk to people in the insurance industry because that's what I do. But one thing we have in common with business owners is all the same, right? The ups and downs. So today, we have a young special guest, a young lady here who has her own operation business. She did it in prints and embroidery. She also was serving in the military. She's a wife, and she's also a mother. And she's going to dive into how she handled and juggles all those different roles and still run a successful business. So, welcome, Miss Christy. Christy,
Thank you.
Yeah. And I just want to call you Tillman, but it looks like is it Tillman?
It is. It actually is Tillman.
Okay. They were just spelled a little different with the Y versus the I. Well, I got it now.
Yes. My husband's family is from Chicago. They're Polish and Italian, and it was originally Till Milanowski when they immigrated, and well, someone along the way shortened it to Tillman.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm like, thank goodness, because I don't think I could have spelt that other one. So, but
It's amazing how these last names come to place when you learn the origin. Uh, I never knew where Clayton comes from, so I'll have to research that. Um, I'm from Mississippi. I know this is our first time really getting a chance to converse. Now, where are you from? I know we both live in Bartlett, Tennessee now, which is right outside of Memphis. But where are you originally from?
well, my mom was very nomadic. I spent my childhood between Northeast Arkansas and Rockford, Illinois.
Okay.
So, and
Yeah.
then right after high school, went straight into the military and went to Germany.
Wow. Now, how long were you in the military?
I was only in 3 years. I was injured and medically discharged.
Okay, I gotcha. Now, how was Germany?
Amazing. It is just beautiful. The older generation was very welcoming. They just, invited you in and you were just immediately part of their family. So
Mm-hmm.
they take they take a lot of pride in their homes. They actually get out every day and wash their sidewalks with soap and water.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. No, they need to do that in Bartlett. I love my city. It's a beautiful city, but we don't wash the sidewalk with water and soap. So that's amazing. Okay, so you was in the military right out of high school. So talk to me through that journey. Once you left the military, and then what are you still doing then? Did you just go get a W-2, or did you immediately go to entrepreneurship? What was
Oh
that?
no. I went straight to FedEx like most of us do. And that's back in the old days when you used to have to call the hotline just to get in the door to see if you passed the qualifications. You remember that hit constant redial until someone answers?
The Rotary. Well, yeah, I gotcha.
So
Uh-huh.
I worked for
Oh,
FedEx for 10 years. I did many different things, everywhere from working international import to being a foot courier in Manhattan. I worked at the Big Apple District, corporate security,
yeah.
and
So you,
then came back to Memphis and changed careers to transportation planner for the trucking industry.
hmm
And then it just got to be, I loved it, but you got bills to pay and they lay off too much. It's a very volatile industry. So,
yeah.
um, then I went back to college. I did go to college in there a couple of times. I felt like a professional student because I kept changing my major. And I was like, I'm just a professional student now, okay? So, I've actually got enough credits for a bachelor, but I don't have a major declared. Then I decided, well, I got a little ahead of myself. I ended up getting 100% service connected with the VA. Um,
Hmm.
so they pay me nicely to figure out what I want to do. And having PTSD, your brain kind of like, your brain's like ricochet rabbit. It's all over. You're very ADHD with it. And crafting helps me to focus. And then I started handing little things out at the VA while I was sitting up there waiting at my appointments. Um, I would make some little happies, I call them, and hand them out, to people sitting in the same appointment area as me. And then that just elevated and took off. So,
Awesome. So that's how the birth of your business started, just from going to the VA, making little crafts and arts and just passing them out. That's
yes, I think
good.
I'm more addicted to the making, or okay, let's just be honest. I'm more addicted to the buying of the stuff. And my husband
Yeah,
said, "You need to do something." I was like, "Okay, fine." So, but no, then I tried my hat at a few different things and finally found my happy point.
exactly. And one thing I say, if you love what you're doing, you're never working. Not
Exactly.
that's a beautiful thing. So you dabble, in corporate America, FedEx, which we know is huge here in Memphis. Sorry to hear about Fred Smith passing away some time ago. And then you just kind of drifted, and it seems like your your business kind of fell in your lap, and then you just kind of expanded it a little bit. Is that what I'm hearing here?
Yes, yes. I mean, excuse me. There's several things that I like to do, things that interest me, but getting into entrepreneurship, you just need to find what is your one strong suit. What is the one thing that you're strongest at doing? What do you got to be that 10% out of the 100% of people that do what you do. Do something that's 10% different.
Mm-hmm. It's that supply and demand, right? I see a niche. There's not much supply around here. I could feel that void. Uh,
Yeah.
so let's talk about that journey then. Building your business. I know before we started recording, you kind of showed me the space you're developing in your warehouse and expanding. Uh, but talk to me about that journey. How was it? You getting started, first just being creative, passing things out, and
Uh,
it expanded. So walk me through that. What was that like the first year? Was it profitable the first year, or was it growing pains? And if so,
uh,
what type of growing pains?
it was stressful because
Yeah.
I wasn't as focused yet. And it was, I have this idea, I have goals, but how do I get there? How do I streamline it to make it work for me, for my clients, my potential clients? Um, I mean, I fell a lot, but I also got right back up. Sometimes it took me longer to get back up, but I got back up. But when I jumped in, I wanted to do it all. I wanted to do everything, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
You, you got to be learn one thing and then move on and focus on expanding. Then, once you get one thing down and you get your foot in the door and you get people out there interested in your stuff, then you can move on to something else. And that's what I've done. So I started with heat transfer vinyl and just vinyl, and I would cut it. I didn't have a Cricut. Everyone had a Cricut. I had a different machine. Um, so I just started playing around with it and making things for my daughter's cheerleague or her soccer team or something like that, or for family and friends. And then that turned into, oh, I want a laser. I want to do things with a laser, not having a clue what it entails. I just wanted it. And well, we got one. And the laser is the one piece of equipment. There's another thing they need to think about is what equipment is involved with what you're doing. The laser I have has not given me any issues that were not self-created. That don't mean go mess up on me there, Thunder. Um, but she's been 6 years strong,
Yeah. Yeah.
and No problems at all. The biggest hurdle with that is knowing the media that you work with, whether it's wood, acrylic, leather, vinyl, whatever, and you got to know your settings and know how it reacts to it and everything. Um, but beyond that, it's been great. It's been solid, but the market is oversaturated with lasers, so I backed off of that. And I have a wide format printer. I do banners and canvases and posters, things like that with it. So, and that's a
Yeah.
cranky one. Oh, you got to take into account the cost of materials, the cost of your ink, cost of maintenance, cost of service. And that one, a lot can go wrong on. The first year we had, I think it was just like a blip. It wasn't out. It didn't like knock it out for a while like MLGW is known for, um, but that glitch just was enough to fry the motherboard.
Mm.
Well, the motherboard isn't cheap, nor is it easily available. You have to wait for it to come from China or Japan, wherever your printer is made.
Yeah.
And then, well, that's it. Then your entire production is down because you can't even turn the machine on. So those are things that you got to take into consideration too. Do you have a backup that you can use? Do you have something else you can focus on?
Yeah.
What's your target audience? And that's another thing that's hard is figuring out your target audience.
Hmm. It's amazing because we're in two different industries and we all face the same challenges when it comes to entrepreneurship. One thing you said when you dove in, now you knew and you don't know how to streamline it. I was the same way. I'm excited and I'm just like, hey, I want to do everything. I learned about this, learned about that, and I'm just running rapid until I had to determine my niche, as you mentioned. And another thing you
Yeah,
said that I really enjoyed was when you dove in, you bought a laser, didn't know what you was doing, but it was fueled by curiosity. I just want to see what they're gonna do. Yeah. So curiosity kind of drove with that driving force to help you expand. So before we get ahead of ourselves, I didn't even introduce your company. So what is your company name and what is it that you do? I should
uh,
start
my
with
com- my company name is Uncommon Vinyl. So like I said, when I started with vinyl, but everything was, I didn't want to be pigeonholed into just vinyl. So that's where the uncommon came in. I literally sat down with the thesaurus looking for alternatives for different. And about 2 days later, I narrowed it down to uncommon because that gave me room to grow.
that. Hmm.
So
Love
that's
it.
how the name came about.
I love it. I was just asking, how did you come up with that name? Uh, of course, no people know my business is Simple Solutions because when it comes to life insurance and it comes to just death in general, it's a problem. We want people to understand no matter how big the problem may seem, we got a simple solution for that. So I just love hearing, the history behind a business owner name and how it, transpired. So that's amazing. Cool. Uh, Now, one thing you did say that I really want to kind of dive into as well, it was two things. One, you mentioned got to find your niche, and then two, how you find your target audience. So let's start with that one. If someone is looking to get into entrepreneurship, what would you suggest to people that want to start understanding their target? What do they need to do?
First, they need to think about what industry. I mean, are they going to just do, for like my line of entrepreneur, do you want to do retail or do you want to focus on groups? Do you want to focus on organizations? And by that, I mean, do you want to do like schools? Do you want to do um, government agencies? I say government agencies because actually one of my biggest clients is law enforcement agencies and veteran organizations.
Okay.
So and that just kind of, well, the veteran thing is kind of, I was already there and I just do things for them. And then it came to, oh, well, we need you to make some shirts for this event, or we need you to do some tumblers for this. And I was like, okay, all right, we can do that. And then my husband suggested making, no, someone at the SSU in Fayette County Sheriff's Department asked if they knew anyone that made shirts. Well, I got thrown out there, and now I do all of theirs. I not only do their shirts, but I do their hats, banners, signs, the license plates for the sheriff's deputies, well, for the
Mhm.
entire sheriff's department. I just did an order of that for them. So it's like once you narrow down what your audience is, or you kind of get a generalized idea of what it's going to be. Like if you have kids, then the little sporting organizations or the athletic organizations are a good thing to like get into. Make a sample or make a shirt or some, or if you make shirts, then make a shirt and wear it. And then people ask, "Oh, where'd you get that?" Well, I made it.
Yeah.
And then, but you don't want to be pushy about it. You want to be open to them about it, but you don't want to push it on them because so many people out there, they don't take the time to learn what the process is. And you got to know because there's so many different types of media and it's always changing. You got to know, how does it stand up in the wash? How does it, adhere to this fabric? What's my best option if I want to just toss it in a bag and carry it around? You need to learn all of that stuff. You don't have to be an expert in it, but you need to know where to go and find that information.
Yeah. Yeah. Got the researcher and research, like I say, the niche you're trying to dive into. One thing I learned from entrepreneurship, especially people who are successful in their particular field, is that they start with service first. So what I heard from you when you went to the VA, you wasn't looking, or you didn't tell me you were selling those things at the VA, so I don't know if you were or not. But I just assumed that you was just knitting some things together and passing them out, which is you providing value and you giving service. And then it just kind of expanded to a business. Is that safe to assume that, did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's where, the infantile stages was at the VA handing out happies. Because, I mean, come on, anyone that's had to go to the VA knows you can be sitting there for a very long time, very long, and you got to do something to keep your mind busy. So
Mm,
I'll just like pack up some stuff and take with me and piddle while I'm there, and then be like, even if no one's around me, I just leave it sitting on a table.
yeah, yeah. I love watching documentaries and I love reading about moguls. And some people say, before I became this person, I used to wash cars, or I just used to pass out things in front of the store, because they just were given. It was a service type work, and then it blossomed. And sometimes with entrepreneurship, or entrepreneurs rather, um, the service work, or the research, or the growth, or even learning a particular skill, they want to kind of omit that and
Yeah,
dive into it. And it could be challenging for a lot of people. Yeah.
yeah. And
Now
then,
you mentioned the first year, it was stressful, right? You also mentioned that as soon as you got rolling, you had a blackout and then knock out your laser, a little bit, the motherboard. And I went through that as well, which is crazy. I was first working in my house, just dialing, people, calling about life insurance and things of that nature. And then we decided to get an office downtown Memphis. As soon as we get,
oh,
as soon as we get the office, pandemic hits. So here we are downtown with nobody to serve. Nobody come to the office. It was just overhead. So those unexpected challenges will happen. Uh, yeah,
getting brick and mortar scares me. That's why I'm lucky I have the availability to work out of home. That's another benefit of being an entrepreneur, is that my industry doesn't necessarily call for a brick and mortar because I'm not trying to do the retail. So
hmm yeah.
I don't
So
have to worry about that.
absolutely. So you don't have that overhead, and thank God that night is remote, so we don't have to have a brick and mortar. I know some people still have it, and nothing wrong with it. But I love working from home. I love just walking to my kitchen and grabbing a cup of coffee, and just get to work, right?
Yep, I've probably got several coffee cups sitting around out here that I haven't come across yet. I'm bad about leaving coffee everywhere, everywhere. So,
Yep.
yeah, it is nice. I've got a coffee pot in my office upstairs. I've got the two or three down here.
hmm
So, I already got one picked out for the shop whenever it's completed.
So talk to so you did tell me you are been in another shop. Now, briefly, if you don't mind, 'cause I know you gave me like a tour of your office right there. Do you mind just showing it again so people can see the work that is involved? Um,
Sure.
yeah,
Okay.
because
It's it's a little messy. Like I said, we're in the process of transitioning with the new shop and everything. But as you can see behind me, I've got my some of my media on the wall. These are the ones that I most commonly use. There's some poster board. There's I do custom wrapping paper, which is a really big thing. So if you have like everyone's got that funny family picture that they just want to immortalize, put it on wrapping paper for Christmas or birthdays. That'll get them.
that's an idea. Okay.
And then I've
Yeah.
got this right here. This is my sticker printer. I do round stickers like this
Hmm.
that go on, mostly coffee shops or something like that. Uh, and then, well, here's the laser, my thunder laser. You can't really see it very well, but it's a big one. They actually call this a desktop laser. I'm
Okay.
like, there's nothing desktop about it. It's on casters. So, and then this is my wide format, Mimaki CJV. This is the one that has the painful motherboard that burns out at a flash, basically. So, and then, oh, this is the most important thing right here, my split AC system.
Okay.
That is important. Temperature control, because it can get hot and get cold. That was the
Absolutely.
best investment we ever made. So, but those are my big three down here. I've got a DTF printer upstairs. I've got a big dual pneumatic heat press over here that I forgot to turn off apparently. But
Yeah.
that right there, if you're going to press shirts or anything, that's what you need, a dual pneumatic heat press. You turn it on, you put it on auto. You can literally do it with one finger. Just pull it over and it goes down, lifts up, and you can slide it over with another finger to the other side. Doubles
Oh,
your production and it doesn't wear you out.
I love it. And the reason why I wanted you to show your office and your workspace, because sometimes, as an entrepreneur, people they see it's gonna cost me this. I got to spend more money. I got to spend more money. But it's a business, and it's not a cost. It's an investment. you know, you're investing
Yeah,
back into your business. You know,
yeah,
and that
yeah.
and that.
So,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
so you can see we have outgrown this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have outgrown it. I need more room. That's why we decided to build the shop. I was like, it's either that or we're going to do a brick and mortar. And I don't want to do brick and mortar.
Right. And that's a great problem to have. 'Cause that means that you are growing and you're developing and you're expanding. Uh, so that's beautiful. And that's what I want people to understand. When you think about a business, it's not like you clocking in and you don't have any overhead. You just work per hour and get a paycheck. When you are the owner, when you are the CEO, when you are the boss, all of
You're
that
the
falls on you.
CFO. You're everything. You're the shipping manager. you're the you're the marketing department.
Oh, well, I say ladies first. I'm
Oh
from the
well,
south.
thank you. But another thing they don't see is that while I may be running around one day doing me stuff, and they're like, well, she owns a business. Why isn't she doing anything? Well, I usually am. I always have something on me that I can share with people, or um, you 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 see a lot of my work around town and you don't even know it. But they also don't see the times that you get up at 6 a.m. and you're up until about 2 a.m. working on designs, or you have a deadline to meet because whatever, whatever. So they don't see that. The lack of sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. I can remember before we became remote and we had to drive to people's homes back in the day, back in the dinosaur days. And I used to drive to Jonesboro from Bartlett. So, that's about, I don't know, 2.5 hours one way.
I'm from there.
He's like, okay, okay, yeah. So I never heard of, Mama Duke and Paragould, Arkansas until I started traveling there. And I would leave the home like 11 a.m. and I would be getting home like at 2 a.m., right? Just from helping families. And sometimes you'd be tired, but I always got refreshment from knowing I just helped that family. So my wife, at the time she was working at AT&T, and she had to be at work at 6. But she didn't want me to be driving all night, on the road.
Yeah.
So she tried to stay on the phone and talk to me. I'm like, girl, I'm okay. I just have 3 families. I'm energized. I can still go. And they don't see the challenges, but they want the rewards. And I need people to
Yes.
understand you can't have that reward without the challenge. It's both
Yes.
of
I mean, you gotta earn that reward.
them. You do.
I think our generation is very fortunate that our parents and grandparents had such strong work ethics. No matter what they did, they took pride in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and another thing is that people try to with this industry in particular, you end up falling one of two ways. You've got family and friends, and I love my family and friends, but I can't give everybody a discount. I already have very low competitive prices because I don't have the overhead. I mean, my biggest overhead is the cost of ink and media and
Hmm.
software. Well, yeah. So, but or you either fall into that always giving everybody a discount, or because it's family and friends, or you have people that say, well, so and so will do it for half that. Okay, well, I'm glad so and so has that opportunity to offer you that, and if they can do that and that fits your budget, well, then please, by all means, go to them. And I mean, I'm not going to trash anybody. If they can do it, then that's great. And um, or they go to where the complete opposite. Everyone wants a Stanley tumbler. It was a Yeti, then it was Stanley. Well,
Hmm.
a lot of people get these tumblers from someone and they say that they're Stanleys or they're Yetis or something, and they're not. They're all made. You will not find an insulated tumbler that is made in the U.S. You may find one that is assembled with different components in the U.S., but they are all made in China.
Yeah.
Every last one of them. And I've done extensive, boring research on it. Believe me, very boring research. But we don't have that market here yet, so we depend on China. But people will they'll buy forfeits. I mean, is that the word I'm looking for? Um, they'll buy fake ones. I can't think of the word. Anyway, and they'll sell them at the high market markup and drive market rate, terrible for everybody else. And it's like, you can't do that. I mean, they can, but at a cost. They're not going
Right.
to be in business long, and they're going to be sitting on inventory that they can't move.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's I know about the family and friends, fortunately for me in my industry, I don't dictate the prices. It's just like this the face amount, the death benefit, this the premium, You can't negotiate that. But I do understand when you have a business like that where you creating things and people try to talk you down. But one thing I did, like,
Mhm.
you know your value, and second, you wasn't afraid to fry the customer in so many words. Like, hey, I can't do that. Sometimes you have to say
Mhm.
no, and that's another thing. Um, you did mention that you had your challenges. Especially the first year. What helped you push through those challenges? Because everybody can talk about, man, it hard, and we never get past that. But like I say, a lot of your work is seen around the city. People don't recognize it. What helped you push through those challenges to keep going?
Having somebody that you in the same industry that you can trust, someone that you respect, someone that you trust, someone that you appreciate, and you can talk to them. I mean, don't try to compete with them. I mean, be there to help each other out. Actually, I have a friend coming over later today to use some of my equipment, and she's my confidant through a lot of this, going, all right, I have a problem with a client, or I don't know what to do, or can you help me? I need help pressing, or I need help running the laser, and we're there for each other. And that right there has helped more than anything, is having somebody that understands your industry, understands the struggles, but is not trying to compete with you. So you encourage each other, because you'll get more from that encouragement. Even if you're going, even if I have a client that decides to go to her or vice versa, and that has happened, we encourage each other, and we're there to help. Whenever the other one's struggling, we help each other. And that right there got me through more than anything else.
I love that. And in my industry, we call it a running buddy. Like you got somebody going to run with. Cause you gotta have those challenges, ups and downs, and you could bounce the frustration, bounce the success, bounce the ideals, bounce the failures off each other, and help pull each other up. So yeah, and
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's why I tell people, no matter what industry you're in, success leaves clues. It's the same thing. Uh, Hard work, dedication, having someone you could share ideas with, or even did y'all have a mentor? You and your runner buddy, or y'all became each other mentor?
We
Each other.
became each other's mentor. I mean, we had both had, times where we thought somebody was a confidant and a mentor, but it turned out that they weren't. They didn't have our best interest in mind. They were only concerned about their own. And I mean, I don't blame them, because the bottom line is you need to make a profit for your business and for your livelihood. So, but some people are just better at building others up.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's, anyway, we ended up being each other's mentor, because there's things that I do that she doesn't know. There's things that she does that I don't know. Like she started in screen printing.
Mm-hmm.
I am completely lost on that. I'm like, you have to do what? There's so many steps to that. And I'm like, I designed mine on AI, and I test it, and then I put it on whatever I want in here. But they got to make the different screen settings and emulsions and all this stuff, and I'm like, ew.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's where her expertise comes in. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. One thing said that I really think is beautiful. Y'all not here to compete, but y'all here to collaborate. I really
yes.
love that. The market is so large and so big, no matter what industry you're in, that you could share the wealth. You could share the knowledge. It doesn't have to be this doggy dog type world where, hey, I can't let you get up because you get up, it makes me look bad, so I got to pull you back down.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a cutthroat world out there in every industry, in every part of life, but I'd rather see the positive in people, and, put a smile on their face. And, if I have someone that's, one thing that I do is, if I have someone come to me and they say, I'm just starting a business, I don't have a big budget. And I'm like, well, I'm not trying to gouge anybody. So a lot of times I will give them like the stickers, the labels over here for the cups and stuff. I'll give them 500 stickers. A lot of them do like the Herbalife loaded teas, or the sea moss is a big thing right now, and they need labels for their product. I'll give them 500 stickers for free to help them out. And say, okay. And not only to help them with their budgetary problems, but to make sure that they have a solid base to help promote their product. And hopefully they'll come back to me. If not, I still feel good because I helped somebody with their business.
Absolutely. I know several times we did conferences throughout the years. Back in the day, it used to be two conferences a year, but now we do one. And it's been numerous occasions where I bought agents tickets to get there. 'Cause I didn't have the funds, hotel rooms. I can remember when I started, I didn't have the funds, so I'd have been there. And I ran out of a van. As about five of us drove across. I think we drove to DC. I think it was in DC at that time. But yeah, it's called lending a hand, an olive branch, because it is reciprocated. It may not come back, to you through them, but it'll come back. And I do believe that. I do believe you help enough people, it will be rewarded back to you. So I know,
Yep.
like, that's my blessing. Like, give me more blessings.
I'd rather
Uh,
see people built up than ball.
Absolutely, absolutely. If we all have that attitude, it will be more successful people. Now, just one more question, I have for you, because you did work at FedEx, you worked in trucking, so you had a full time job before, and now you're an entrepreneur. So, talk to me about the difference between the two. Because both have their pros and cons. So how have your life been different now as an entrepreneur? So I said that you had a corporate job with FedEx and you was in trucking. And you also have your own business now. So tell me about what is the difference between the two and how have your life changed since you have been an entrepreneur?
Oh, well, I learned a lot from FedEx. One of the
Challenging here.
that's my biggest thing is anytime I have to do something, I'm like, don't schedule it, during or close to rush hour,
Yeah.
please.
So do you deliver the goods or do they come uh, and pick it up from you?
What was that?
I said, do you deliver the goods to your customers, or do they
I
come
do.
and pick it up from you? Okay, so
I mean,
don't do
either
it.
one. I mean, usually I'm out running around. One of my suppliers is over in Parkway Village. I try to avoid it as much as I can, especially with it getting much more escalated over there. But um, so I go all over, all
Okay.
over. Millington, Covington,
Yeah,
South Memphis, Parkway Village, Collierville, Germantown, Fayette County.
yeah, yeah. Like I say, I'm so blessed now. I work from the home, but yes, I was Jackson, Tennessee, South Haven, Olive Branch, Oxford, Mississippi, Tipton County. I mean, I was all West Memphis. I was, Forest City, Arkansas. Like I put a lot of miles on my vehicle, but I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I really did. It was such a relaxing time. But I like this as well. Let's say now, what advice will you tell anyone? Just one good advice to anyone who's trying to pursue entrepreneurship. What would you tell them?
Do your research on your chosen path. I mean, do your research. Do your licensing research. Research your name. Don't just throw something out there. Make sure it has meaning. Make sure it fits you and your business. Research the legal aspects of it. That's one thing that a lot of people don't do. Like in my industry, trademarking and copyrighted items. I have a lot of people ask me to do sports teams or SEC teams or something like that. I'm like, I can't. I don't have the licensing for it. And then it's expensive. You have to pay anywhere from $300 per school for their license
Hmm.
to make their product, and you have to submit everything for approval. And then you have to put those little official holographic stickers on it so that
Hmm.
people know that it's legitimate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but research all
yeah.
angles of it. You make sure you see if there's any licensing or credentials that you need. Don't forget about taxes.
Yep,
Research your taxes.
yep. All through that, especially when I was trying to get my LLC. Just found a business name, make sure it's available. Trying to make sure that the domain name is available for the website. Going down and filing with the state. Yeah, it's a lot,
Yeah,
But
because the Secretary of State is going to get their money every year, $300.
yeah, $300. Mine's not. I already paid it.
And that's
Yeah,
just to have, that's just to exist.
absolutely. Listen, I got a letter in January, and I said, "Here you go." I know it's that time of the year, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm so thankful that you was able to hear to share your wisdom. Uh, like I say, if y'all need anything, especially I live in the Memphis area, you need anything pertaining to vinyl or uncommon vinyl, see Christy. Now, of course, you need life insurance. Well, then you'll come and see me. And with that, Christy, thank you so much for being a guest and dropping gems on people.
Thank you, Mr. John. I really appreciate the opportunity. It was very nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise, likewise.
Keep doing what you're doing.
I'm definitely going to try. Well, you know what? I'm going to do.
There you go.
We just wrapped up another episode of Simple Solutions. The question is, did you catch the clues? Success isn't complicated. The answers are often simple, but only if you're willing to look for them and apply them. Keep pursuing your goals with passion. Remember, tough times don't last, but tough people do. Until next time, stay focused, stay driven, and keep finding the simple solutions.